Do more Rogue Trader. So we're back tonight. Um, yeah, we need more crew. We need everything. Um, so yeah. We do have a navigator from last time. That is a very important step. Which, I mean, once we get, once we get everything else working, that will be a very big help to us. But literally everything on the ship is fucked. Like, and we have no one to repair it at all, so we need to find more crew. And a tech priest. Does anything new appear after missions? Let's stop wandering about. Okay, right ahead, Minoris. Lord Captain, there is some commotion on the officer's deck. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find out what has brought Cassia to the deck. Okay.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance. Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves.
Wait, you're
And I
blind.
must say,
Well,
it has caught my eye.
well,
Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful
Oh,
and
I mean,
enrapturing.
you're psychic, so maybe you can see in other ways.
Yurak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works. One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders, but it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
Okay.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis Nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior in your question just now insulting. No, it is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself.
And the fact that you need blood.
He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
Perception test succeeded. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes the topic of gossip among lonely servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks.
Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying? You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as I.
A, yes. B, you're scaring the crew.
I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself. Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Yurak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls, and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing. Indeed. I did not know. That is to say, I could not have known, as it is the first time we are speaking in a circumstance so private. My word, when I found this place, it was so full of officers. Why did they all leave?
I want to tell her.
Or because my presence offends them. Then I must take my leave as well. I am due to inspect the Sanctum Navis after the communion ritual and prepare the chamber for the upcoming warp jump. Thank you for your company.
Oh, I'm screwed because, in the beginning of this game, you come into the possession of this void ship, but that's because a whole lot of people die, including, the chief tech priest, who, makes the ship run, the psychic who goes to the warp. We found her. She can help. We also lost a really big chunk of crew. So, we are trying to unscrew ourselves at the moment.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Lord Captain, sorry to disturb you. It's pandemonium on the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Viserian's voice. In any case, I just wanted to warn you in advance. Okay. What is going on? Why... Why are you here, whoever you are? This is not the conduct of an officer. These are the antics of a highborn brat out on the lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. A lieutenant? A real event. The young woman stands before Abelard and strives with all her might not to declare under the onslaught of her superior's anger. She falters, but then manages to look in the eye and say, I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I have already seen him fit to disturb her. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence towards a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personal file without delay. Lord Captain, Avril Event, requesting permission to speak. Event falls silent, then adds rationally, on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I don't... Number 2. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. Get on with the report. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks in order to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced that this step is unwarranted and that the crisis itself was provoked by the actions of one of the senior officers. Ah. Abelard, in no hurry to intervene, lets out a skeptical huff. He glances at Arbak, standing not far from him, but she remains a Stonian. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of the Seneschal Viserian, and to intervene in what's happening on the lower decks, because we very soon will have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Vent reels off the last words as though she knows them by heart. She has clearly been preparing to save him for some time. When she's finished, she casts an anxious glance at Abelard, then at you. I would just like, teeny tiny heads up, Abelard. I would not deem it a worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30 years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order, but even 8 years later, we're still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless, as are there fucking gene stealers aboard my ship? Keep my fucking Wrangler genes out of your filthy mutant fucking alien fucking hands. But on this ship, the word of Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure that if a rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, she will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problems you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I've already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your ladyship, sending a hit squad to crush the rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. I mean, it is a means of solving the problem, or delaying it, but ignoring it is having my officers not give me a heads up on, like, a possible mutiny. Hey, how did I become Lord Captain? Oh, the previous Lord Captain was murdered during a mutiny. The situation could boil over at any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who'd been killed in a drunken brawl. We reported it up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the search has brought tensions between the enforcers and workers to a head. Okay, please do. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. I shall speak for as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way things are done on this ship, and one of the pillars is that that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. This is not a trivial matter. Like, maybe the last rogue trader thought so, but she's fucking dead. It is the Seneschal's role to ensure that I have always handled internal problems myself. So, of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valancius will find refuge on her ship. You are far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Lassarian. Arrests, interrogations, mass punishments for entire sectors has driven people to the brink. Now there is a strike on the lower decks, in Depot 4, to be precise. The three worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting them. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection, but when I reported my concerns, the only response I received was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. I see no need to add anything. I acted within the remit of my authority, guided exclusively by the best interests of your protectorate and your personal safety. If you wish to confirm the rectitude of my actions yourself, I have no objections. For my part, I urge Lord Captain to go down to the lower decks, stop the assault unit, and speak directly to the people. You will see that they are not lying or harboring heretics. That way you will stop the uprising before it begins. That is Depot 4. Depot 4 is one of the poorest sectors on the lower decks. It is home to clans of general laborers. They are not as valuable to the ship as the families who have served its specialized systems for generations. They are an easily replaceable resource, and one which is now more besides, giving succor to the cultists and minions of the archenemy. Depot 4 is poor and troubled, but at worst, that means drunken fights and illegal rotgut brewing. We have handled the workers of Depot 4 in the past. We would have done so again if the crackdown on Depot 4 hadn't been so harsh. And another important point to bear in mind, the problem is not limited to this sector. It is located on one of the most populated lower decks, and everything that happens there has a knock-on effect on all the neighboring sectors. Jocasta Sourbeck. Lord Captain, unlike Lieutenant Vent, I respect the chain of command and realize that it is not within my right to challenge my superiors. Sourbeck bows her head in Abelard's direction. However, a moment later, a serpentine smile appears on her lips. That being said, while I entirely share Master Viserian's opinion on what Fate Depot 4 deserves, I must note that this insubordination is a direct consequence of practices that he himself has introduced. Mr. Sourbeck, I see you have decided to follow the lieutenant's example after all. Such behavior does you no credit. Mr. Sourbeck, can you recall an occasion where I would encourage an officer to disobey their superior, or one where I would overrule their order, or show favoritism to those who merited none? None, Seneschal, for there have been no such cases in the entire time I have served aboard this ship. If anyone were to claim otherwise, I would have them pay for insulting your honor with blood. Your conduct in this regard has always been spotless. Nevertheless, given your eminent position, a simple show of attention on your part is enough to erode the attitude of junior officers, inflate their sense of self-importance, and undermine discipline. That you distinguish some of them and know them by name is tantamount to walking around the officers' deck handing out gifts to officers who have caught your eye. It fills those you set apart with ambition and audacity, makes them stand out among the rest. Enforcers are meant to be faceless servants, fighters ready to die, their fate entrusted to the commander and no one else. That is the sole foundation of order. The ship's regulations state that Master-at-Arms is responsible for resolving all matters related to the ship's enforcers, and yet it is no secret that the Seneschal has a tendency to show partiality. Those enforcers and officers whom he has deemed particularly promising are at times given for permission to approach him for tutelage. I cannot deny Master Viserian's experience and insight, for Seneschal has a record of students who have indeed achieved much and demonstrated impeccable performance. However, extending such patronage over the head of their immediate superior fosters disregard for hierarchy among your ladyship's servants. Today, an enforcer goes to the Seneschal to report the Master-at-Arms order that they happen to disagree with. Tomorrow, they will go to the Lord Captain to object to the Seneschal's orders. I notice a pattern in these actions. Lord Captain, I swear Seneschal Viserian has never granted me any privileges, never once advocated for me, or facilitated my promotions, although he is the man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He has offered extensive guidance in my service, for which I am grateful to him. And while not all my fellows receive such attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers whom the Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure that they can strive. Oh, fuck, this is getting really complicated. To prepare for new generations of the Dynas servants. To instruct them to separate those with potential from those who have exhausted it is my duty as Seneschal. The ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards I have raised. By the throne, every third person standing on this bridge right now was my student at one point. Evidently, my officers are anything but a shining example of unity and adherence today. I have only myself to blame, I suppose. Oh, I don't want to piss Abelard off. I won't say anything judgmental. Praise the Emperor. Thank you, Lord Captain. An enterprising boarding on sophomoric, but please yourself, Lord Captain. However, I categorically insist that I escort you. Lord Captain, I regret that the enforcers were unable to handle the situation, which led to you and the Seneschal's involvement. I consider it my duty to go to Depot 4 myself and see the expedient resolution of the incident. Oh. Well, I've got a lot of shooting, so... Oh, I can take all of them. Oh...
Victory awaits!
Abelard reflexively wipes the sweat from his brow in a startlingly human gesture and a telling one. A rare moment where he allows his age and wariness to show through his armor-like veneer of self-assurance. The lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of this ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavor to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause for concern, and I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them you are akin to a creature of legend, one who has stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less, whereas I am the man whose name is attached to every order or docking rations or lowering the bay's heating. Something resembling a nest made out of thermal insulation and material. This must be where workers sleep between shifts.
A new challenge for me.
Okay.
something of interest. I won't tolerate weakness.
Beside the box, a string of scratched letters run along the edge. Different first names, but the same surname. Looks like this box has been passed down in the family from generation to generation.
How may I serve the dynasty?
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
Relax, old man. Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you see how the simple folk live.
The sound of a heated discussion reverberates through the ship's bays. Lieutenant Avril Event of the ship's enforcers is barring the path of her superior master-at-arms, Jocasta Sourbeck, who has survived clad in armor. Judging by their expressions and tone, the standoff has dragged on for some time and has now reached a boiling point. Lieutenant Vent, my patience is wearing thin. I have given you an order, now get out of the way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down: the first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. So not all my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your ladyship. They're both at attention. Your ladyship, my people have knocked down the bay where the strikers are, including the leaders. We have the situation under control as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant. I've come here to lead an investigative unit, and what do I see? The rabble is on the verge of mutiny. There is nothing to investigate. This calls for immediate repressions and firing squads, and you, Vent, are a step away from facing charges yourself. Let me speak to the strikers. Abelard does not approve.
I'll lay claim to the stars.
A dozen pair of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower decks. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces that display varying levels of mutation, from barely discernible to strange to the outright grotesque. Rivet. A whisper passes through the crowd, and finally you detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Finally, 3 people break away from the crowd, an elderly woman and 2 men. These must be the leaders. And they bow clumsily before you. Lord Captain, you have come down to see us. think I'll start out with that. Here's an explanation for you. The people have been pushed to their limit, and now they're lashing out. As if we don't know why these top deck units are being sent down here, like that one there that Lieutenant won't let past. Our clans are all inside the bay that's been sealed off, but the lower decks are big. I'm sure there are some people who just about had enough. We're getting it from all sides. The soldiers have encircled the ones who've risen up. A death squad has just arrived. It's no wonder folks are lashing out. Their words seem sincere to you. Their body language and the glances traded between them reveal the news of the attack has shocked them. Striking, that's news to us, your ladyship, says a tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet. Here's the deal, your ladyship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word, and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to whole bays for a week at a time, so we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. Okay. Argenta does not interrupt the workers, but you see the sadness well in her eyes when children's deaths are mentioned. She quietly whispers a requiem prayer and makes a sign over herself. It's all true. Vent is the only officer who stood up for us. It's clear as day who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidships and has no feelings towards us. The grim man with a scarred face throws up his arms. Your ladyship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We've plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. What's that? The G-Jaw they found on the dead drunkard? If it was something evil or forbidden, we sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. But how could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing in our sector, that's for sure. But when that fight broke out, some enterprising folks looted the bodies. The boots they came back with. Nobody's ever tread these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you. Seems to me the cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were really fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, must have been pocketed by someone who didn't know any better. We don't need any amulets down here. We all worship the Emperor, and when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of the large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago, by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your ladyship, we are people of faith. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the arch-enemy's creations? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? You were told, Holy Sister, but it was long ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector was just after I had my third little one. That is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when beasts crawl out of those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who is not there, or the scavenger who brought evil down on himself and his neighbors? Abelard, I authorized the use of all necessary means to locate Chaos worshippers hiding in the sector. The specific steps were taken by the officers were not reported to me. Nevertheless, I am certain that their actions were justified. Cultists are no drunken stevedoers. They are the enemy and a threat to the ship. Neutralizing them demands decisive action. The rabble understand only one language, Lord Captain, that of violence. As per regulations, should laborers persist in their unwillingness to cooperate, the next step is limiting air supply and cutting off water supply, which is almost certain to restore order. The peasants can grumble all they want, but in the end, they are the source of their own misery. All they have to do is bow their heads and fall in line, and the need for punitive measures will disappear. Well, when they're cooperating... Well, I'm not sure about that, because you want them to give up cultists. They seem to genuinely think there are no cultists to give up. What do you... When you look at this, the exultant Lord Captain herself is asking us Biltrats what we want. Well, here's what we want. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want enforcers gone from here, and we want to be armed. Give us arms, we'll govern ourselves. We'll defend... No... And we'll govern ourselves, we'll defend ourselves if these cultists do show their faces. I've been leader of this clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these club-wielding thugs can only improve things around here. Stager, you've gone too far, old Nan. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without enforcers breathing down their necks. They'll probably even insist on enforcers on the upper decks, too. Probably even insist on enforcers... I think we do. As for weapons, what do we need them for? Before the first day's out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. If the enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find scavengers who rob the cultists' bodies, and we'll talk to them, one lower decker or to another. If there aren't any more of those damned amulets about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures, I want real change. They'll promise us the world now, but as soon as the Anointed One turns her back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before, all because we dared to speak out. Story about going scavenging for boots and accidentally picking up a heretical amulet doesn't convince me. These people were moments away from rebelling and possibly becoming minions of the archenemy. We must not give them what they want. Even if they did acquire something innocently, purely out of their own stupidity, that does not mean they are not tainted with corruption. What begins as petty thievery can turn into a far graver problem. I have seen it before. My second war, there was a sergeant in the Imperial Guard regiment that was stationed nearby. The sergeant took an ordinary pocket knife from the body of a heretic, and his whole unit lost their lives for it. When they finally managed to break into the barracks, they found not a single survivor, only the pocket knife, which had grown all the rows of beds like a metal choking vine. So when it comes to scavengers, malcontents, strikers, or whatever, they'll turn into next. My verdict is simple. Give them no quarter. Rivet. Tall worker they call Rivet shrugs and casts a sidelong look at the old women. Old Nan, listen. Listen. The Lord Captain herself has come down and is offering concessions. I don't know how a single person in the whole of Depot 4 who's ever stood next to a rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's no time for you to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We've made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me. Is that it? So brave you are against an old woman. But I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against two clan leaders on my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. Oh. Thank you. Page is where the start. This page is where the start of each shift is marked, and the last mark is missing. The workers went on strike. Heatsink warms the air around it to a scorching temperature. This is the warmest part of the bay. The workers have even dragged deck chairs here.
Follow my lead.
Let's talk. I have an urgent matter to discuss with the Lord Captain. Please give us a moment. Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtowed to the disloyal rabble. You believed their lies and showed them leniency. Next time the ship is attacked by cultists, that rabble will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc if they like, because they see you as a weak leader. Okay, let's talk. I would have handled the situation myself had you not decided to intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora. Remember Lord Captain Theodora? Do you think she ever set at one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such matters were left to myself and the junior officers while she dictated. Yeah, 1. I commend your decisiveness, but I am uncomfortable with introducing new protocols in the midst of a crisis. And I lost my temper, Lord Captain, and I believe I ought to explain myself. The prosperity of the Von Valencia's Protectorate is not just an empty phrase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for a chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds the sign of true greatness. Rogue traders do not simply forge new routes and capture worlds, they create order out of anarchy. That creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known. I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture. Lord Captain Theodora entrusted me with all her concerns she had no time for. She would go off on her flagship for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over the years over years and years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us. The rogue traders was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly, without fear of appearing weak. All of this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty-bound to aid the new rogue trader, to aid you to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems that in the past have been dealt with by tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and have functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Blame what happened on procedure. That's the key. Yes, Lord Captain. Your resolve is admirable and demonstrates strong leadership. I shall remember this moment, should my old habits ever begin to creep back in. Now, please, let us leave the lower decks. If the rogue trader desires to stretch her legs, there are far more suitable places. Okay. I think I handled that well. Okay. Okay. First trade. Okay. As the ship makes its way through the stars, a strange fatigue falls over you. Your eyelids grow heavy, and the quill you have been using to draw up yet another order falls from your hand. You raise your head with a start. Someone else is in here in your study. You stand up and stare at dozens upon dozens of corpses surrounding you. Among their number, you recognize the disfigured and bloodied faces of those who died on the ship's bridge and those you met in your previous life. How is this possible? Where are the enforcers posted to stand guard? Matters not. You are alone against a horde of heretics risen from the darkness to take your life. As if of its own accord, the shard lying on the edge of the desk, the sole remnant of Conrad Voigtvir's weapon, slips into your hand. The metal is searing cold. The dead sway from side to side, closing in around you in a nightmarishly slow advance. All you hear in response is unintelligible voices, whispers, moans, and derisive laughter. Anger ignites your chest, and you clutch the shard, which ravenously bites into your palm with its sharp edge. An unbearably bright light floods everything around, and you find yourself surrounded by groveling minions, their bodies shivering in your mere presence. Your hands no longer hold a pitiful shard, but a majestic and intricate weapon, a skillfully crafted sword with strange, unnerving proportions, a curved design, and an unusual hilt adorned with the image of a closed eye. The eyes open wide, revealing a gaze so ancient and dark that it steals your breath away. You know what? I'm gonna fall to chaos. Fuck it. You have felt this gaze before, there, on the bridge, and the voice that appears in your mind only confirms your guess. The tapestry is woven, the path is chosen. Accept your fate, champion. I am the sword's master, not its servant. Remember that. You feel the sword's immense weight pulling you down. You resist its will for a moment longer before collapsing to the ground to the sound of odious laughter. The strain is such that you fear your back could break at any moment. Vogue, the first dawn, is hereby woven into the tapestry of fate. Seek the second dawn in the hands of she who rises above its future dominion. When the former aspirant fell, and thus the new one will be the chosen of the Weaver of Destinies. Make mortals serve you as their god, and become the vessel of the Edge. Oh, this is going to... No matter what I do, things are going to end badly. That's Warhammer. Fuck it, I'm going chaos, boys! You awaken from the vision, kneeling next to your desk, clothes drenched in sweat, and a sour taste on your tongue, like Paxlovid. Your head is ringing, and you struggle to recall the faces and the image of a sword in your hand. Only the deep cut on your palm and the bloodied shard lying on the floor remind you of what just transpired. Oh, I'm going full Fulgrim. You reach your shaking hand out to the shard, now slippery with your blood. You wipe its metallic surface and stash your treasure under your clothes, next to your heart and soul, and forever seared by the great power of the warp. The light glinting off some polished how mobile mining outpost assembled in accordance with a blessed standard template construct. A small industrial complex can be deployed on practically any world, however inhospitable. The Surf clan assigned to it will devote itself to the maintenance of its sacred mechanisms and the extraction of resources needed by the rogue trader. Starport. Oh, is that an Arvis? Very Star Wars-y looking. Oh, something bad's happening here. Oh, this is an Arvis. Starport greets you with the din of ordnance and the smell of explosives tickle your nostrils. It's difficult to tell through the smoke who is firing at whom. Halt! Weapons on the ground where I'm firing! A man in a torn and dirty uniform hobbles towards you from behind the chunks of rockcrete and crumpled plasteel. His cracked helmet is adorned with a crooked label that reads Sergeant Malgar. Alright, so our skies are in lockdown, the rebels are shooting down anything that flies, and you lot just happened to land in our rear without a scratch to show for it. And on a shuttle like that, where did you get it? Stolen from the palace, isn't it? Grab 'em, lads, we've got ourselves a rebel landing force. Abelard turns purple. By the holy thrones, what is this mess? They're in a rough spot, old man. Go easy on them. Okay. I want to go with 2. You stand before the rogue trader von Valentius. You ignorant worm, snap to attention this instant and give her ladyship a formal report. Yes! With a mixture of awe and terror, he snaps to attention and raises his freshly cut chin like an exemplary soldier and barks, "My mistake, ma'am. At once. The starport is under the control of the governor's wardens. Perimeter command is... A frag grenade explosion cuts off the rest of the sergeant's words. Shrapnel flies around everywhere with a piercing screech. One of the soldiers falls to the ground, clutching the remains of his forearm that is now adorned with the crimson tatters. Blood is pouring out of his stump, and the soldier's agony is short-lived. The sergeant curses and hastily says an army prayer for the dead. With a rasping cough, the sergeant turns back to you. Pardon me, ma'am. Sergeant Las Malgar reporting. My unit is holding a starport on the governor's orders. How may I serve? What's going on here? Unrest, ma'am. Armed rebellions in both the capital and the provinces. And first the lower levels sparked, then it went up the spires. They hit the Vox hubs, the arsenals, the mag train stations. Chaos or gene stealers? Then Felix tore off his mask precisely because he knew about the trouble on Rykad Minoris. He knew that none of our allies would come to our aid. You may continue your report, the peasant. My unit was here when it all went to the Groxes. The tech priests linked satellites reported sightings of strange void ships in the system, and they were orbiting the star until one of them set course for landing on Rykad on Majoris. Oh, the governor took precautionary measures in order to increase security at key facilities. Everyone knows that whenever something's not right, you better double the warden details. The alarm was raised, and we were sent to secure the starport. It's the only reason we were able to hold it. They're crushing us. Oh, it's been a whole turn since the last reinforcements came, and we're running low on ammo, and every other fighter is wounded. I don't know how bad it is in the streets, but they'll drive us out of here any minute. Sergeant Las Malgar, ma'am, 11th generation loyal soldier of House Winterscale, awarded priest commendations for faultless service. Ever since the olden days, his lordship, the rogue trader, has recruited soldiers and shipwrights on Rykad Minoris. So there's no greater honor for a Rykadian than serving his lordship with diligence. Thoughts, ma'am. We've fallen on hard times. The ground keeps shaking. Things keep exploding. The people are scared. They've forgotten all about their duty. And that's when those, Emperor forgive me, preachers came and started riling everyone up. And sure enough, we shot a few, but they just kept coming, more and more of them. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I live to serve. We won't fail, ma'am. We'll be praying to the Emperor for you, your ladyship, ma'am. At the word Inquisition, the sergeant's face fills with awe. I don't know, ma'am. There definitely haven't been any visitors like that on my watch. You might inquire at the headquarters, your ladyship, ma'am. Going to see the governor. If I may report, ma'am, as long as the rebels keep shooting their damned anti-aircraft battery, there's absolutely no way to shuttle you to the governor. It would have to be on foot, and the streets are dangerous. No one's send with you as an escort. I assigned all available troops to accompany the esteemed tech priest to the governor. I will cast orders for them to wait for you, and I'll inform headquarters. They better send out a convoy to meet you halfway. Meanwhile, we will follow the governor's orders and hold the line here. Gira frowns as her gaze grows distant, as if she is looking through the sergeant. You're a good soldier, but you've got a lot of blood on your hands, both yours and others. You know the same hand that salutes right now might falter in darkness. Rank and epaulets won't save you from the bitterness. Pardon me, my lady, but I can't get my head round these fancy words you're saying. I've seen plenty of blood, but trust me, I'll fight till the last drop. Don't worry about her. She predicts the future. Sometimes it's a bit weird. What awaits me there? Oh, all our roadblocks are gone. The whole place is in the rebels' hands. The city is almost lost, so no help will come. We are surrounded by rebels, and watch your step, ma'am. The streets are chock full of mines. Logic test succeeded. His remark about mines lodges itself in your memory. More than anything, you will need to lodge the ground and not your surroundings. You'd rather risk a shot from a rebel or a jittery soldier than experience a few handfuls of lethal frag shells resting on top of some 300 grams of explosive isolene. What tech priest? Very important person from the Adeptus Mechanicus arrived on the last shuttle before they locked us down to Sky. He kept asking whether anyone by the name of Amarant or Amarnat or something like that had recently arrived. Barely answered any of our questions, though. He said he was under no obligation to tell us anything. He demanded to talk to the governor personally, so I had to send a quarter of my troops to keep him with him to keep trouble at bay. Okay. Let's see, rumors. Oh, this is good. Persuasion is always good. Since he's a tank, I want him with more toughness. Oh. Yeah, I want a healer. Oh, wait. Um... It's Notch of Purpose. Waking Nightmare. Okay. Okay, the Grand Viaduct for receiving esteemed guests is buried under the rubble. If a pilot dressed in a crumpled uniform adorned with Von Valencia's coat of arms and still looks like quite pale, her white hands bear red marks left by the wheel. A scream of terror she let out when the missile flew right past your shuttle is etched in your memory. That was some flight, your ladyship. We'd been a little less lucky. We'd be checking in at the port in the sky right now. My bad there, your ladyship. Senior flyer, senior pilot Numas, appointed by the senior deck officer to serve on your personal shuttle. It was that weapon they fired at us. Can't say I know, your ladyship, but the shots it fired certainly fly quick. I've never seen guns like that before, and they were firing on us far away, almost beyond the bar, the horizon, that is. Who gave those yobs a terrifying contraption like that? Missiles!
May his light harden our hearts. New trials await us in this place.
It's going from bad to worse. I expected a typical dull reception with the governor. Not more carnage.
Admit, and you'll die quickly.
I will take you down.
Okay, she's an officer and a navigator.
Out of my way! Here we go.
Emperor, deliver us!
Let's get to it.
They who discern the future own the battlefield.
What
Give Abelard some forewarning. And
Will do.
zap.
That is not my destiny. On it.
Let's make it quick.
Fuck. Moved her too close. Moved her up too
Let's
far.
get to it.
Already done. All too easy. Suits my purposes.
Out of my way.
Why did I not foresee this?
Here we go.
Onward!
refuse. Doubt is for the weak.
Voice of command.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Haha!
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. At your beck and call.
Really?
Victory is imminent.
Let's get to it. Let's make it quick.
I feel cold.
Forewarning on myself.
Let's get to it.
Nothing I can't do. Of value has been lost.
Out of my way.
Just a minor setback.
Show me what you've got.
Pain and duty go hand in hand.
Wait, a fucking... Okay, Xinqian.
Weather the storm.
My soul sings in ecstasy.
Fuck.
Rejoice in battle!
am a navigator, not a servitor.
Indeed. Grey hair.
Oh. Oops. Sorry.
I will do my duty. Reduce to dust. It will be done.
Let's get to it.
Already done. What's your biggest mistake?
Let's make it quick.
Okay, are you gonna do anything, my dudes?
By the manner of their death, we shall know them.
Oh, okay, this is bad.
Guided by faith! Power resides in the will of the righteous. Faith without deeds is worthless. This is why I was chosen. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. I will not. That is not the Emperor's will.
Fuck.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Fuck. It's not dead. Why isn't it dead?
Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Strike is a prayer.
Hold on. High momentum.
All too easy.
Fuck.
suits my purposes.
Time
Let's
to
get
slaughter
to it.
someone. Pain cleanses the body. As the Emperor commands, I act.
Emperor, give me strength.
Out of my way.
Nothing I can't do.
On in, maggot. I'll do it. God Emperor, move through me. Be the fire in my heart. Doubt is for the weak.
Nice.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
As the Emperor commands, I act. Eradicated.
Haha. Dead.
Here we go.
Already done. My tactics are flawless.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
Let's get to it. Who wants some more?
Endure.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Anything...
None shall stand in my way.
Oh.
I rise to the occasion.
Written on the side of the Shuttleman pilot's lonely slang are the words... Oh.
Victory awaits.
Loot everything.
It's about time.
I guide humanity between the stars.
Take a knee and bow before me.
Show them no mercy. Let's make it quick. Hold Hold on. Let's get to it. Out of our way. Here we go.
Faith without deeds is worthless. I'll do it. All too easy. None shall survive. Suits my purposes.
Let's get to it.
Let's make it quick.
Dare you?
Help me, Lord.
Let's get to it. Out of my way.
My prescience has failed me.
I took care of this one. At your beck and call. Victory is imminent. I will do my duty.
Do I need to do everything myself?
Oh. Oops.
Will do. What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Here we go.
I need your aegis, O Emperor.
Let's get to it.
As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Nothing I can't do, nothing of value has been lost.
quick!
My ears
Hold
are
on!
I know what is to come. Was it you? But of course.
Injury is not an excuse to
Fuck.
shirk one's duty.
Another foe painted black.
Not a problem for me. Was your biggest mistake. Suits my purposes.
Let's get to it!
Stop mocking me.
At your beck and call. One fewer target. Indeed.
Will do.
All too easy.
Just a minor setback.
Out of my way!
It will be done. I took care of this one.
What is this foreboding? Not the scryer's job. On it.
Already done. Nothing I can't do. Not a problem for me.
Nice. Okay. Okay, I'm bad at this.
I'll lay claim
But-
to the stars.
But at least I won. And at least there weren't any fucking demons randomly popping out. Turret was placed in a great hurry, but the Technomat never had the chance to activate it.
Do you see that? The whispers told me a secret.
Oh, fuck.
Change is coming. The edge is nigh.
The blinded ones are harmless. No sense in shooting them and drawing attention.
Fire on the nearest target! Don't kill the tech priest! We need to take him alive! Do it! Fall back!
Okay.
May flesh be thy fate. Let the cycle be discontinued.
Oh, hello, Tech Priest. If a man dressed in the Crimson Shroud should not have survived an explosion like that. However, he is alive. You hear the wheezing of a respirator that covers half his face.
Not another step.
Trillium comes... Okay.
Flee, for I am death.
By the throne! What is that servant of the Omnissiah made of? Adamantine? Ugh, blast it! Rogue trader Von Valancius greets you, honored Tech Priest, and graciously grants you permission to remain in her presence.
I identify you as a member of a high stratum belonging to Rogue Trader House Von Valancius. I am detecting no need for confrontation.
Got that right.
I received an order to meet you. It is no longer functional. Therefore, I propose that we continue to advance to the rendezvous point with the governor's soldiers. I identify as Magus Pascal Helena of the priesthood of Mars. By the grace of the Omnissiah, I am currently assigned to the maintenance personnel of the station Altar Templum Calixis X-17.
Okay.
Altar Templum Calixis. I have heard the name before. The station appears on House Orcelio's star charts in the Furibundus system, not far from the void colony of Footfall. You have traveled a long way to come here, esteemed Magos.
This was my doing.
The voices are being weird about him. They're saying garbled, conflicting things. Like they're talking about completely different people. But he's not a threat to you,
Interesting.
even if that's a bit hard to believe after all the fireworks.
The Omnissiah granted me a revelation. The spirit of this machine was dying, but it wished to perform a service, for such was its design. I sensed this and appealed to it. I do not know how I did it. I merely followed my intuition. The understanding granted by the Omnissiah was not permanent. It has left me. I came here to carry out a sacred mission. My mentor, Archmagus Amonat, summoned me, and I hastened to answer his call. But the rabble's unrest prevented our meeting, and I was on my way to Governor Medina to determine my mentor's current location. My escort was ordered by their commander to discontinue their movement and await to be merged with your group. Then, due to their incompetence, they let themselves be killed. It was an unacceptable complication to my task. Acknowledged. Predicting successful and mutually beneficial cooperation.
Yeah, let's get this.
I better myself through my service.
Oh, never operative. Okay. Let's close up scanning. Okay. We are all very... We are all very, messed up at the moment.
Follow my lead.
Oh, medkits. Okay, who's got a high Medicaid? You've got 25. You've got 45. Okay, you've got 50.
Cogitation failed.
See? Right there.
Every one of the dead have had their eyes ruthlessly burned. Sure the machine spirits will listen? I bet they're real stubborn. Oh, more. Quit your whinging. I've seen the tech priest do it twice. I once even brought a sensor to him. Of course they'll listen. Alert, profane violation of the algorithm. Oh, we could see if we can operate that turret there. No, we can't. Judging by the caustic smell and oily stains, Promethean was obviously stored here. It must have fallen into the hands of the heretics.
None shall stand in my way.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Excellence matters.
Oh, hello.
I will heed your cries of mercy.
I'll turn you into corpse starch.
Oh!
Will do.
This is unacceptable. Doubt is for the weak.
Really?
Show me what you've got.
Faith shields me.
Request approved. My vow is to serve.
Nothing I can't do. All too easy.
Nice.
High momentum.
Wait. No, she's way too far away to do that.
Here we go. Let's get to it.
I will do my duty. Reduce to dust! Victory is imminent.
There is movement in the Empyrean. Be gone!
I'll do it.
Nice.
Time to slaughter someone.
The old sire knows all, comprehends all.
Never wavered in the face of adversity.
Really?
I have read tomes of military tactics. I am a navigator, not a servitor. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Okay. That guy's dead.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
A tactically sound approach. I'd rather not.
Lord, goddammit.
Someone else can do this. It will be done. At your beck and call. I'm not interested.
Take up defense over the body of the fallen unit.
Mark you.
But of course. Farewell.
And no one got downed. Nice.
Victory awaits.
Okay, let's see what hell is out inside. The upper way extends across a wide bridge which is suspended high above the roiling waters of the river below. The bridge is densely packed with imposing and ostentatious buildings designed to flatter the vanity of the local elite. The mansion must have been damaged by an explosion or a large shell. You can still see some of its former luxury within. Young Warden, a young man in a planetary guard uniform salutes you. Your ladyship, Private young Regius, ready to escort you to the command center for your meeting with the governor. I regret to say that the convoy sent to meet you was ambushed and took critical losses in the heavy fighting against the rebels. In other words, I'm the only survivor. However, the rebel force was destroyed as well. We can set out for the command center. The success-failure ratio of combat objectives completion for this world's military speaks to its subpar efficiency. I will advise the local ruler to seek my fraternity's aid in upgrading their troops to servitor manifolds. Apologies, your ladyship. Soldier draws himself up and adjusts his gear. It's a new uniform. The guards are in a difficult situation right now, so we often get issued whatever's left, and it isn't always the right size. Your mouth is full of mud, soldier. You are hiding something behind beaming hues of faith and loyalty. What is it? Fear, I guess. In times like these, if you give in to weakness, you're done for, and I'm not done with life just yet. Gira winces, glances at you, and then shakes her head. The Emperor protected me. I didn't run, your ladyship, if that's what you're thinking. I was by my commander's side until the very end. I shot the last rebel from the gang that attacked us, but alas, the captain succumbed to his wounds and the others had already died. The Emperor rests their souls. The ungrateful rabble rose in rebellion against the planet's lawful governor and his lordship Aligos Winterscale, our ruler by the will of the Emperor. They are all heretics deserving of a most terrible death. Order will be restored. The guilty will be punished. Okay, nice recitation of the party line. Yes, your ladyship, we have to take this avenue. It leads from the starport right to the command center. It's a short walk through minefields and snipers and roving gangs of heretics. Okay.
This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment.
Something large and heavy plowed down the street with the entire width of the street. You can only guess what could have caused such damage. The temple's tower collapsed onto the pavement and is blocking the way. It will take days to clear for rubble. Temple door does not budge. It may be blocked from rubble from the other side. Oh, we missed something.
machine god grants me insight.
Shuttle must have crashed into a building and destroyed part of the street.
I won't tolerate weakness.
Attention to detail is the key to success. Sometimes you consult the appropriate treatise on Tactica Imperialis and weigh every step. Sometimes, though, you just fire your biggest cannon and save the day. Experience. Nothing matters more.
There are traces of a recent battle everywhere, including bodies in Planetary Guard uniforms.
Nothing's impossible.
The bodies and the general aftermath of battle suggest that the attackers of the squad's movement. Remains of my squad. Once we put down the rebellion, they'll be given the last honors they deserve as soldiers fallen in righteous battle. Okay, so he doesn't seem to be a rat.
Any challenge for me?
But not sure I trust him. Errant rubbish lies scattered between the seats covered in the stone, old programs faded and tickets and food scraps of unknown origin. Please follow me. I should have killed him. I should have fucking killed him.
Submit, and you'll die quickly.
I will take you down.
Fuck me, there's so many of them.
I'm here, maggot.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Faith without deeds is worthless.
O Messiah, grant me the wisdom to perceive. Hold on.
Boo.
Nothing I can't do.
That was dumb.
Not a problem for me.
Indeed, one fewer target.
Nice.
That's not the Seneschal's job. I will do my duty.
Let's get to it. Out of my way. Here we go.
What an unfortunate turn of fate.
Haha.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Scared yet?
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I'll do it.
Okay, that wasn't as great as I wanted.
Advancing. Running binary override. Insignificant value.
Suits my purposes.
Okay, flanker dead.
Follow my lead. Reduced to dust. Victory is imminent.
They who discern the future own the battlefield. Anything else?
Was
Nice. Okay.
careful not to cross my gaze.
Doubt is for the weak. Rejoice in battle! As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds is worthless.
Explorers know one route. Forward. This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality. My vow is to serve.
Okay, whatever.
Let's get to it.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! As the Emperor commands, I act.
Running binary override. Request approved.
Okay.
Let's make it quick.
All too easy.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done. At your beck and call. One fewer target.
I know what is to come.
Step aside. The navigator is coming.
Doubt is for the weak.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful.
Hold on.
It's nothing.
tactically sound approach. Indeed.
Cover me. Will do.
Haha.
Battlefields are always drowned in scarlet.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
Activate calculated fury algorithm.
Where's he running to?
Let's get to it.
I'm not injured. I'm enraged.
Forge ahead.
Follow my lead. I took care of this one.
Okay. Finally. Oh. Updating data catalog. The characteristic tendency of the planetary defense force of Rykad Minoris to run into ambushes is not a consequence of chance or negligence. It can only be explained as some twisted variation of combat tactics. This phenomenon is depressing. Spark of madness flashes through the young man's eyes. Aurora is the hidden truth. No one is worthy of seeing her face. But those who are loyal to her will stand by her side at the hour of the final dawn that will consume all. They will, but not you. You are an enemy of Aurora, and so you will be vanquished. Haha, no, your entire convoy's gone. I took that whining pup Camille's uniform. 6 months with the governor's underlings taught me their ways. I had no trouble posing as one of them. I had to make sure you scum didn't decide to turn around and fly home, instead of walking straight into the ambush. Don't let it go to your head that you took us down. My comrades are many. They're coming for you. And if they are not... Anyway, you'll see for yourself. Okay. And rubbish lies scattered between the seats of... Oh, I read that.
I'll lay claim to the stars. It's about time.
Numerous pumps, compressors, and other machines are thrumming away on the lower levels of the Great Bridge.
I'm still new to the art of exploring.
Oh. Porta potties. Mobile charging stations clatter and crackle. The piercing sound is easily distinguishable in the surrounding turmoil.
Take a knee and bow before me.
Crush them! Advancing. Running binary override. Out of my way!
Let's get to it.
Here we
Let's get
go.
to it. Yeah!
Pick you off.
Guided by faith. I'll do it.
Show me what you've got.
Haha.
It will be done.
But of course. Farewell.
Haha.
I have read tomes of military tactics.
Request approved. Vulnerability analysis successful. Vital functions successfully terminated.
I will bathe this battlefield in righteous fury. I will not.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
My faith shields me.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. At your beck and call. Someone else can do this. I will do my duty. At your beck and call.
There is movement in the Empyrean.
On it!
Be careful not to cross my gaze. I'm not accustomed to being ordered around. If I may.
It will be done.
Really?
Indeed.
As the tactical imperative dictates. High momentum.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! Faith without deed is worthless.
My place is at the fore. I will do my duty. Reduced to dust.
Okay. There we go.
The voices behind the door are cackling to the beat of all this commotion. Down? Yes. There's something down below.
If I'm not mistaken, the streets of Rycat Minoris are arranged in tiers. There is certainly something beneath this avenue. Storage facilities at the very least.
None shall stand in my way.
Okay.
Victory awaits. I won't tolerate weakness.
From your vantage point, it does not seem like this lavish mansion has been damaged by the explosions, but you cannot enter. Something is blocking the entrance from the inside. Powerful explosion destroyed a large part of the bridge, both above and below. Could someone still be alive down there? Okay, let's see. Rebel soldiers and ordinary workers, everyone perished under the rubble of the ruined bridge and buildings.
Follow my lead.
We should deal with this. I'm at your service. This ocular implant was a worthwhile investment. Over there!
Okay, not that way. On her journey across the world caught in the throes of heretical insurgency, the Lord Captain accidentally witnessed an unholy rite that transpired in the maintenance room of an aqueduct. This abandoned nook turned out to be a heretic's gathering place for performing the grim and profane acts. A large group of rebels stood frozen in patient anticipation, all staring into the center of the room. No one moved, only the murmurs of hushed voices echoed against the metal walls. The rebels were unremarkable in appearance. They were dressed in shabby clothes of abject rabble, and spoke in coarse voices, and had repulsive faces. But what caught the Lord Captain's anticipation was the look of strange, almost sinister anticipation in their eyes. This was no gathering of loud blasphemers or bored idlers. Only occasionally would they exchange brief, unintelligible remarks. As they stood in a frozen circle, their gaze turned towards the hulking structure in the center of the room. Bulky power transformers, cogitators, crates, and boxcasters took up most of the space. Against her background, the structure that stood out in the center stood out oddly. An enormous lens mounted on the stand caught the thin sunbeams that made their way through the slits in the ceiling. And crossed the half-lit room. The enormous mounted lens was doubtlessly imbued with the power of the arch-enemy and inimical to all that is noble and virtuous in the universe. Anyone caught in its corrupted light would face horrifying consequences. Although barely visible behind the closed ranks of insurgents, the rusted barrels with evidently flammable contents had not escaped the Lord Captain's keen eye. One good shot at those barrels would decimate the number of heretics on Brykad Minoris. As if commanded by an unseen force, the insurgents fell silent at once, and in a single movement parted. A thick, sticky silence filled the room. The heretics' gazes were turned towards a metal structure with lens on top of it, standing tall in the middle of the circle of melting candles, piles of books, and unholy symbols drawn on the floor. The structure flashed as a single sun ray illuminated it. A sound of bare feet broke the sinister silence as a man emerged from deep shadows. Reeling, he entered the circle and collapsed on his knees in front of the enormous lens. Not a second had passed before the rebels gripped the fallen man's shoulder and hair. "Remember, comrade, the last sunray you behold will be yours only, shared with no one else. Your holy final dawn," bellowed a lone heretic's voice amidst the silent crowd. By the doing of someone's hands, lens had turned and its focused ray feasted on the prisoner's eye. The blinded man's harrowing screams shook the very walls of the place. Consumed by the rite, the rebels had not yet noticed the strangers in their midst. The Lord Captain braced herself and suddenly faltered as if something had stopped her. Dark shadows danced in the Lord Captain's glazed eyes, ghosts of the past, and that had ridden at the slight trap the sight of the warp atrocity and shackling the rogue trader's will. Breathing heavily, the Lord Captain could only rush. Fuck!
And you'll die quickly.
Your Emperor won't save you.
Fuck.
I serve the ruinous powers. Out of my way.
Oh, fuck.
I bring ruin.
Nothing I can't do.
I should have shot that thing.
Crush the feeble.
Death to the weak.
Doubt is for the weak.
A tactically sound approach. Victory is imminent. At your beck and call. I took care of this one. Follow my lead. Indeed.
so many of them.
Step aside. The navigator is coming. Isn't this a job for the serfs? Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Chaos guides me.
Okay, what the fuck is going on? Okay, horrors are coming. That's what the fuck is going on. That's what they're called. Literal horrors. Fuck.
I serve the ruinous powers!
Okay, why is the game freezing? I think this is the game telling me it's time to call it quits for the night. So, until next time, have fun and take care of each other out there. Good night.